OpenAI recently announced an absolute game changer after releasing and introducing GPT-4 last week. Today, GPT plugins are introduced, and with these plugins, GPT can get access to the internet, to the browser. You can upload photos, videos, every other files like CSV files, for example, to GPT, and it can do something with it to ChatGPT. So this gives ChatGPT again a game-changing function for the race of AI, and OpenAI gets here again with this big news. So in this video I want to show you what they announced, what ChatGPT will be able to do with these plugins, how do you get access to these plugins, and what else is going to come from them. So let's start with reading this article here where ChatGPT plugins are announced at the OpenAI page. I will link it down below so you can read it yourself if this isn't deep enough here what we are doing now. So let's go through this. Here we have implemented initial support for plugins in ChatGPT. Plugins are tools designed specifically for language models with safety as a core principle and help ChatGPT access up-to-date information, run computations, or use third-party services like other companies which build on ChatGPT. For example, we have now some already plugin developers which used it and companies which already used it and now are the first to have plugins created. For example, Expedia, Fiscal Note, Klarna Shopping, Wolfram, Instacart, Kayak, Shop from Shopify, or Zapier. So these are the biggest ones that already used the ChatGPT plugin, and these are now the first you can use within ChatGPT. So definitely nice to see this here. So how can you get access to ChatGPT? After I read this article, I immediately go to my ChatGPT, but as I've seen here, I'm not able to use it at the moment, so that's a little bit boring. But as it states here, today we will begin extending plugin alpha access to users and developers from our waitlist. While we will initially prioritize a small number of developers and ChatGPT Plus users, and we plan to roll out larger scale access over time, so they don't say the exact moment when all people get it, but the first are the developers, which is understandable, and the next ones are the GPT Plus users. And at the last point, I don't think at the moment that it will get a feature which is usable for the free version users, so I think that will be a thing that they only announce to the Plus users, I think, in the future. So now let's look at a nice example. So here we have the first example of how they use this browsing alpha model in the video, and here they ask it how do this year's Oscar winners compare to recently released movies for box office sales. And now, as you can see, ChatGPT is browsing the web after the Oscars 2023 and is searching for the box office sales in the web, and can also search on specific sites, as we can see it here with clicked on domestic box office. So it's reading multiple content pages which stand under the Oscar winners, and now it gives out a specific answer. So the 2023 Oscar winners were everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once, earned 100 million in sales, box office sales. So, and as you have seen it, you can click on these one or two, and it gives the exact links to this where it found it, so the sources. And you can also then ask specific questions on this topic. Here we have a next demo version which goes to the code interpreter, which uses Python, and it will be used to create code for us. So for example, here plot function from this function here, and now it will be calculating. It's recognizing to use a calculator, and now it gives out the graphs. So this is definitely nice. Here you can ask it furthermore to zoom in the range of x values between 0 and 1, and now it gives out this specific range only of the graph. So this is definitely really nice to see this, how you can use and give ChatGPT broader range for use. So this is definitely in the education sector. I see a big plus of this integration of plugins that can be used in the future, and definitely really nice to see this, that they included such things here. From this point here, they show us how the code interpreter can also read a CSV file, music.csv here, and how can I help you with this file? So, and then you ask what are the columns of this data set, and as you can see, ChatGPT can perfectly read through this thing. This is definitely nice that it can now also read these kind of files, which at the moment ChatGPT isn't nearly able to do. So this gives so much more value, and is basically these big announcements now come basically in a range of a week. It is absolutely mind-blowing how the AI game evolves, particularly in the last 2 or 3 months. So definitely really nice to see what AI will be able to do again with this upgrade here with the plugins on GPT-4 base. So definitely really nice to see this. So what they say here about the safety considerations is that the primary consideration for connecting the model to a programming language interpreter is probably the sandboxing of the execution. That means that the AI-generated code does not have unintended side effects on the real world, which shows that they also keep the safety in mind. Here we have another plugin, which is the retrieval, and the open source retrieval plugin enables ChatGPT to access personal or organizational information sources with permission, and it allows users to obtain the most relevant document snippets from their data sources, such as files, notes, emails, or public documentation, by asking questions or expressing needs in natural language. So here we have a demo video I want to show you. Again, here we see the model as plugins now. And for example, they ask what human rights were introduced last year. And now it used the United Nations source and gives out the newest things which were come last year. So this is definitely nice to see. And even that you can now ask how has thinking on climate change evolved over the years you have access to. Use a table. So, and here we see it, the thinking on climate change has evolved over the years as follows. It starts in 2018, goes to 2020, 2021, and even 22. So this is definitely nice to see, because this shows again the now provided access to the browser and using now new data which at the moment ChatGPT isn't able to use. This plugins I showed you at the moment were the plugins provided by OpenAI, and now we come to third-party plugins, which more have an experimental mode that knows when and how to use these plugins. So third-party plugins are described by a manifest file, which includes a machine-readable description of the plugin's capabilities and how to invoke them, as well as user-facing documentation. So it will look like you have the model plugins, and then you can choose your third-party plugins. For example, here we have Wolfram, OpenTable, or Instacart. For example, now there are more to come, as I've shown you before, like Expedia and so on. So you're also given some steps how you can create a plugin by yourself. So, and here we have again a demo video about how to use one of these plugins. You can go to the plugin store, install them first, as we can see it here with Instacart, for example, or Wolfram Alpha, and then they are included already in the ChatGPT, and you can ask you can ask your question, and it will use these plugins to get more information for the database and give you a more relevant answer, for example, also with the sources where it gets these information, or here even with the picture, because it got it from the plugin from OpenTable. And so it's definitely not bad to see this. Now it used Wolfram Alpha again, and used it to give you out the calories and everything you need to know. And now it used Instacart to order the ingredients on Instacart, and here you get out a shopping list. So it doesn't provide you with the buying, but it definitely gives you out the shopping cart where you can click on Instacart, and you have these things filled up in your warehouse. Definitely really nice to see this, how this evolves. This is absolutely crazy. I'm definitely shocked as I'm seeing these updates here, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I don't know really what to say about this. So at the last thing they say, looking forward, we're working to develop plugins and bring them to a broader audience. We will have a lot to learn, and with the help of everyone, we hope to build something that is both successful, useful and safe. So if you want to get faster access to the plugins, or if you want to develop your own plugin, you can click on Join Plugins waitlist. Then you will get restricted to this page form, which you need to fill out. Want to click I want to try plugin, or I'm a developer and want to build a plugin, and then you will be able to get a faster access to one of these plugins, but you need to be a developer or a Plus user. So this is my last tip for you. If you want to get a faster access, join these waitlist. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this short, informational and mind-blowing video about GPT's newest updates. I hope you have a nice weekend, and please subscribe to my channel to don't miss the latest news on GPT, AI, my journey, and everything else in the technology sector. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell. Bye.